Right, so on today's show, I think I found out the ultimate way to know if you're on a super posh golf course. So we'll talk about that.
And I think I've worked out my favourite golf course of all time. Standby incoming.
The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. The golf boys are back in town.
We've got a theme tune, man. We've got a theme tune. We don't need to sing our own theme tune. We've already got the absolute mosh fest that is the GIRML theme tune. Love it.
Why didn't we pay people to do a jingle for us? We work in radio broadcasting. That would have been so on brand for us to have a proper, sung Radio 2 80s jingle.
I'm going to put it out there.
Oh, yeah, go on.
Because this is what happened on my other podcast. Sorry to talk about my other marriage. But I'm going to put it out there that if we said, in all seriousness, we will pay someone to do a couple of jingles for us on the golf pod, like going into ads and stuff like that, I bet you we have an email within a day. Because there are so many people out there who are so incredibly talented, Tom, musically. I reckon someone would do it.
Well, there we go. If you want to make a jingle for us, we'll pay you. Why not? As long as it's good stuff.
Yeah, go on.
And don't use AI.
Yeah,
for
you can tell.
Christ's sake.
No, don't you dare. We've obviously got the muck cash now. So the Toms at Golf is Ruining My Life. Don't bring that up. The Toms at golfisruiningmylife.co.uk. Welcome to another GIRML. It's another week here on Planet August. How are we? How are you, Tom Green?
I'm just going to do a quick bit of business at the top. Go and check out our Discord. Yep. There's a link in the description.
Oh, yeah.
Join the channel. We've been chatting to people in there. It's actually really, really fun. Woke up this morning with 99 million notifications, and I'm all right with that. I think it's good. I'm glad that chatting to you is the most prominent thing on my iPhone now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just another way for me to get endless notifications. It is brilliant, and I'm really excited to see how it develops. The thing I love most of all is the regionality. And when we had our meeting with our production team about it, we all very much said, we do need to make sure that we're very clear on how the regions work. And the first two notifications I had this morning were people going, what's going on with the regions? There's no rest of world option. Yep. Fair point. Fair point to you, my friend.
But this is it. This is the beta version. We're testing. You think Mark Zuckerberg didn't come up with this sort of stuff? You think Bezos just had the perfect Amazon from the start? No. You gotta graft away. You gotta graft away at it, Tom.
It takes time. So head over there. If you haven't got Discord already, and you're a bit of a granddad like me, then do go and get it. It's really, really worthwhile, and it's a good laugh, and it's a good way for us to do things like, I'm gonna go and play. I'm doing the range later on. I'll say I might video my swing and chuck it on our Discord if you want to have a look and rate my swing. And why don't you chuck yours on there? Whatever. There's loads of options. There's loads of opportunities in there for us to basically to push the show beyond the twice 30 minutes a week that you're currently listening to.
I think I want to start by talking about something that happened last week while we were having our mini break. You would have never known about the mini break because we batch cut content, but something happened and it feels like it's going to be a bit of an issue. So 2 years ago, I would say we were all saying, when's Tommy Fleetwood going to win in America? It wasn't so much an issue. It was just it feels quite sad that he's never won in America, but it sort of feels like an inevitability that this is going to happen. I would say that was last year's chat. I think this year, the conversation has developed into something a tad more sinister. It feels like we're all now in a point where it's not like, when's he going to win? This is inevitable. Sadly, the conversation has developed into, is this ever going to happen?
Is he going to win? I think that it's very interesting that the conversation flitted over to Fleetwood. And I predicted this. If you listen back, you can hear me predicting this. As soon as Raw won the Grand Slam, people went, what's the next big narrative? What's the next story? In terms of UK-based golfers, what's the next story? And it makes sense. The next cab off the rank from our top guys, our top 10 guys, because Tommy's been there or thereabouts in the top 10 for a couple of years, is, Tommy, where's your win, mate? And not even your major win. Where's your PGA win? So it doesn't surprise me. He's still relatively young. He's still a lot younger than his wife. But the question is, have you seen that? It's fascinating and wonderful.
I love that.
It's gorgeous.
I think Tommy's 35 and his wife is in her
older. Let's not say her age. Let's not say her age.
Five. But also his maybe his manager. She's his manager as well. But he pursued her. He was like, she was like, oh no, you're a bit young. And Tommy's like, we're gonna go out. And then I think they got together in 2017 or something mad, or they got engaged and married in 2017. I don't know. But yeah, it's fascinating. He's a toy boy.
Well, he needs to pursue. That's right. He needs to pursue those titles in the same way that he was single-minded and got the gal. I think he is clearly brilliant. I always think of, there's a guy who I know who is the best golfer I know, and he was in the mix to be a pro. at one stage when he was probably 16, 17, 18, and he's in the same class as Fleetwood. He was in the same year, same age. And he said playing with Fleetwood at that age was the very much like when I did stand-up with Ricky Gervais once many years ago and went, yeah, there's no point in me doing this anymore. He played with Fleetwood. He did, it's true. He played with Fleetwood and he went, this guy has so much natural talent. How would I ever compete with him? So there's no question mark over his quality. There is a question mark over the single-minded flintiness that it takes, because he did blow up, didn't he, at the PGA on the PGA Tour a couple of weeks ago.
Just a small sidebar on that, on players talking about their junior days and playing with other golfers. Did you see what Bryson said about Scottie?
No. Oh, yeah, that he was better than him, wasn't he? Or something.
Bryson
was
basically like, to be fair, didn't see this happening. When he was a junior golfer, he's put some work in because he was never this, which was amazing. A little sidebar on Bryson. Watching stuff on Bryson recently has been really interesting because, one, the Scottie thing he's mentioned, saying, God, Scottie's put in a lot of work because I was a better junior golfer than him, quote unquote. And two, that, do you know there was a lot of conversation during the Masters about Bryson's irons?
Was there?
Yeah.
Why? Because he didn't have right distance control, did he? He wasn't getting the right.
He's a little bit all over the place, and it was brought up on the Sky Sports commentary in a way that I thought was a bit too much, because we know not everyone's a big Bryson fan. I think we could all admit his irons weren't where they needed to be during the Masters, but I sometimes thought the commentary was a bit anti-Bryson.
Faldo went for him.
Yeah. Hey, I like Faldo, but he did go for him. Bryce was talking the other day saying that is the big difference between him and Scottie. He's like, I drive longer than Scottie. I'm straighter than Scottie. My putting's better than Scottie. But he said Scottie's irons and distance control is unlike anything he's ever seen. Probably better than Tiger, is what he said.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is so interesting. And do we think it's short irons especially? Because you often see that. TaylorMade put it out on their channel a lot. There's a lot of... there was a great thing on their Insta of Scottie swing. You know that thing on Instagram where you drag along the pictures along the bottom,
and it makes the swing. I like that.
With your finger you can do a really precise view of his swing, and it was his short irons that were they're just so, and it's just so much feel, because famously Scottie used to play with a ping pong ball at home. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. No, this is great.
Yeah, so as a kid, Scottie Scheffler used to hit the ball around at home with a table tennis ball. And that gave him the natural understanding and ability to shape golf balls. That's what he did. It's pure natural. You can see with his footwork.
That's so cool.
His stuff is pure instinct. It's pure, this is what I do when I want to shape it left to right, which he does most of the time. And this is how I would shape it right to left. That is all learnt from hitting a ball down a corridor or whatever at home and trying to bend it into the spare room.
Bryce was saying something really interesting as well. So he was saying not only is his distance control amazing, his ability to read the scenario is amazing. So he can land it on a number. And that isn't just because he can fly everything 142 or whatever the number is. He goes, okay, wind's in, I'm going to fly this down a little bit. The greens are playing a bit rough. I'm going to stop this here, and then it's going to roll here and release here. He's just a magician when it comes to numbers. So I thought that was really cool. Yeah. But anyway, let's leave the sidebar and go back to Tommy Fleetwood. I'm fascinated with how the discourse has changed.
Discord? We're on Discord.
Check it out. It's in the description. Yeah. Has changed because it didn't feel negative until maybe the last 2 or 3 tournaments, when all of a sudden everyone has been a bit like, hello, what's going on? When are you going to win? Are you going to always, like, and then people start saying he chokes. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, let's not put this in his head.
Well, he has developed a monkey on his back, hasn't he? Basically, that's what's happened, and that is because that's what happens with the media narrative, especially. As soon as a monkey on the back has gone with Rory and the I was about to say in the Grand National. No, let's try again. Yeah. Grand Slam. That is where they've gone to with Fleetwood, and part of me wants to just stay in the moment with Fleetwood. Is just incredible, and he's out there doing it, and let's not put these demands on him. But then equally part of me wants to go, come on mate, I love you, I think you're one of my favourite golfers, and you winning a couple of big tournaments and a major puts you there in a, it's that, God, the difference between winning a major and not. When you think about Colin Montgomery, right? Yeah, famously. When I used to watch him as a kid, and he never won a major, and I would argue that has meant that his legacy isn't quite the legend of golf that he should be, because he is an unbelievable golfer, and I am not taking anything away from him. But that not winning a major, it just feels like that's the difference in terms of your legacy and what you leave behind. And I don't want that to happen to Tommy.
I quite like the Tommy story, though, only because with the Rory thing, you only had had 4 goes at the will he get a major thing, right? Because that was the story.
Yeah.
I think the story, yes, was can he do the career slam? Yes. But I think the story was, can he win another major? So you had 4 goes at that story every single year, which is great. The Tommy thing's brilliant because it's pretty much every weekend you've got another chance for him to finally get a win in America. Watching the other day when I was on the way back from holiday, but getting those Sky Sports golf notifications on my phone and it being like, oh my God, could he do it?
Have you set up notifications for Sky Sports Golf?
Yeah, of course.
So hang on. Obviously, I've done this as well. Let's pretend for a second that I haven't done this.
Yeah.
So is there a Sky Sports Golf application?
Yeah, of course.
There's a Sky Sports Golf app.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. That's something for me to do. And so, hold
on. In fact, that might be a lie. I might just have the Sky. No, see, maybe I think what I've got is I've got the Sky Sports app. And when you sign up for the Sky Sports app, it basically says what sports you're interested to, and then you tick them, and then it gives you notifications based on that.
I need that. Thank you.
How didn't you have that? What?
No, I know. Because I am an idiot. That's why I haven't got that. But it's fine. I've got Discord now, so I'll just get endless notifications when things like this happen. So are you gonna talk about Justin Rose, right? Which was a brilliant moment.
A really interesting moment, yeah. So getting all those notifications, it was just quite exciting to have another tournament. I feel bad. I can't even remember what the tournament was. The course looked amazing, though. I didn't get to watch much of it because I was away, but I watched all the highlights on the Monday when I came back. The course looked beautiful. I don't really know much about that tournament. It was do I dare say it was a bit of a non-event? But all of a sudden, you get JJ Spawn, you get Justin Rose, and you get Tommy Fleetwood, and I was locked in. And I'm glad that because of this Tommy Fleetwood story, that is a storyline that we're going to get most weeks. Brilliant.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe what he'll do, and hopefully, is come out the traps on the Ryder Cup. Because Tom, we are only a few weeks away from the Ryder Cup now. We should probably start, spending a bit of time on the show talking about that. Because actually, when you look at that leaderboard and those playoffs, there were a lot of European players involved in that, and I think it's been a really disappointing season, the golf season this year. I think that apart from the Masters, up until this point, there hasn't been much, certainly from the majors, to get excited about.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree.
I'm really hoping that the Ryder Cup, the one thing we have seen is Europeans doing pretty well. Not so great, admittedly, in the Open, but broadly, certainly over there, which is where obviously Bethpage Black is where the Ryder Cup is happening. We're doing okay over there. So I'm vaguely, I've got the dangerous stirrings of optimism for the Ryder Cup, which I know is a silly thing.
Yeah, that's very silly. We're going to get absolutely destroyed, but it's not going to stop me being very excited about it and really enjoy it. So that's coming up, mid-September, I guess, is it?
Yeah, mid to late September.
There's loads of great stuff still to enjoy because we're about to get into the Walker Cup, which is never something that I followed before, but I listened to a few other podcasts on golf, and a lot of those guys over there are quite excited about it, and it's got me excited by it, so I wanted to pass that on to you. The Walker Cup's obviously really interesting. It's us lot versus the Americans, amateur golfers, or at least younger golfers.
Where is it? Do you know where it's happening?
Yeah, it's over in America this year.
Oh, okay.
Because it's one you could go and see. I think St Andrews had it relatively recently.
I
don't know whether there's going to be coverage of it on Sky, but I really want to get behind that because that seems really exciting. I don't know how much of the AIG Women's Open, Tom, you watched, but I ended up catching quite a lot of that as well.
It was brilliant. And Porthcawl, what a course, man. What a course.
I need to go and play it. I'm obsessed by it.
Yeah. Good luck getting on there, love.
Yeah, it seems quite hard. People say there's so much conversation about it that it's like one of the best courses around. I mean, relatively around us, and that if they had the facilities, the Open would be there loads, but they just can't facilitate it.
Oh, I think you'll find Motorway 4 is very nearby. But yes, no, that's the big problem with the Open for a lot of courses is getting people there. There's a famous, and it might be, it's just in case the lawyers are listening, this might be absolute rubbish, but it's a bit of an urban myth that growing up around there, Royal Porthcawl was always the one. That was the one that people would say, oh, have you played Porthcawl? And the reason Celtic Manor exists, supposedly, is because the guy who bought the land and made Celtic Manor went to try and play Porthcawl, and they said, where's your handicap certificate? This is back in the day when you had to physically hold a physical piece of paper with your handicap, like a driving license, to show them that you're good enough to play. and he didn't have one, and they went get lost, and he was so angry he set up Celtic Manor. That is possibly an urban myth, but it it alludes to something of the whiff of the vibe that's come off from Royal Porthcawl over the years. And when you see the course, my God, it's a good course.
Yeah, because I heard in some of the commentary about it, not on the coverage, but on other podcasts and whatever and online stuff, that it was a bit stuffy. And it's not maybe as stuffy now as it used to be, but it was maybe a little bit stuffy back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah, well, maybe that has changed. As golf has, as we know, golf has changed enormously.
Have you played it, Tom? Have you done it?
No, I'd absolutely love to. Well, what I want to do, Tom, I've got a plan, by the way. I want to do a sort of southwest. We did our Scotland trip. I want to do the southwest, and we can probably fold Porthcawl into southwest, because we could get a boat technically down the Severn Estuary after we play Porthcawl.
Okay, sure.
But I want to play Porthcawl, Burnham and Barrow, Royal North Devon, Trevose, St Enedoc. That right there, my friend.
And then hold on, can we just do the week later and continue and go Royal Cinque Ports, Deal, and all?
Yeah.
Can we continue?
Yeah, Littlestone.
Yeah,
Littlestone. Yes.
Royal St George's. Can we just do them?
Yeah.
And then actually, can we work our way up into London? Do St George's Hill, Wentworth, Woking, Worplesdon.
Right. We need some products. Someone needs to get Tom a cold flannel. He's got carried away.
I also need some money if I'm going to play all them. Christ. McDonald's! Right, welcome back to another episode of Golf is Ruining My Life. The AIG Women's Open, it was, I know we're a little bit behind on this because we've been away, but I really thought Charley Hull was going to do it. I really wanted her to get it done. I think she's such a great character for golf and such a great character for women's golf that we need someone like that to get behind, because it gets all the eyes on it. And
wasn't she a shot off? Is that right? She was one shot off.
She was really close. Again, I was sitting on the plane on the way, watching it on my phone just before we took off.
Amazing.
Watching it. I think she was pretty close, and then she was supposed to be down the road from me, just over there. At Centurion.
Centurion, the PIP thing.
Yeah, Public Investment Funds, a PIF thing, down the road. And then she pulled out because she had an ankle injury. So
Charley Hull is a superstar. Charley Hull is one of the superstars of women's golf. She is people. It's people like her, and obviously Nelly Corder and all these. There's a Minji Lee. Like there's a sort of handful who people outside of the women's golf fans know about, and they're so important because they will draw more people into the sport. And I would have been up for going to Centurion and watching that tournament.
Yeah. Well, we were both invited, Tom. Our friend Sophie Walker invited us. We were both away. We were supposed to play in the Pro-Am. We could have played in the Pro-Am,
we couldn't do it,
but we were away.
Mind you, to be honest, Tom, last time I played Centurion, I played it so badly, I don't think I'd want to play in the Pro-Am. I think I need to go away and make my game much better. I must say, pivoting towards me, which is really what the podcast is all about.
Spin the boat.
Well, I just feel a bit... Can I be honest at the moment? I feel a bit like I'm just not playing enough. And you're playing loads. And today, right? So today is summer holidays. I've got my two boys, they're best friends, and I've booked the VIP booth at a driving range near me. So I'm going to be taking them for an hour to a driving range, which is brilliant, right? It's really nice. The reason I've got the VIP thing, it basically is a room on the range, like where they do lessons, but it means that they won't annoy other people, because there's nothing worse than the kids.
And you're part of the 1%. There's that as it's that.
And I'm part of the 1%, clearly. Yeah. The Islington Elite. Hello. So we're going to be in there, and that's great, and I'm looking forward to that and hitting a few balls. But what I don't have in my diary, I'll tell you what I don't have in my diary, which is what I need to bring my golf back to life, because we're going into my favourite time of the year for golf. I need some significant dates. I need that. I'm doing this thing next Thursday. I'm doing a card with Tom. We are playing a thing. We're filming something. I need something like that in my diary to get me, because I was hitting a rich vein of form. It's our new favourite phrase on the pod.
Vein of form.
And I really was. I was playing, God, last time I played with the boys, did 9 holes, and I was like, oh, just par. Fine, no problems. Like, it was one of those.
Unreal.
And I need that form needs to find somewhere to play. So what should we do about it?
Yeah, well, yes. Obviously, we can. You come to Porters Park. We can get some exciting golf in.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying ticking off nice golf courses as well. Friend of the show,
yes,
Alex, who has an account online. You should all go and check it out. Called like Top 100 Golf Courses or something like that. I really should know exactly what that's called. We'll put a link in the description to his channel, because he's a really good friend of mine and he does really good stuff. he's ticking off the UK's top 100 golf courses.
I want to be Alex.
Yeah, Alex is having a really nice time doing it. I mean, it must be costing
Has Alex got no kids, just by any chance? Has he got no wife and kids?
No,
just
he does.
Out of
He has a
interest?
wife and I think 2 kids, actually, to be absolutely frank about it.
Wow,
But
Alex!
But he is self-employed. And he works in music. So basically means you don't work on a Friday. And that's where he does it.
Oh, can you make us a jingle?
Yeah. No, he's more of a manager. Anyway, this isn't about Alex, for Christ's sake. He'll love this.
Soz.
He's doing this thing which is amazing, which is ticking off all these top 100 courses, and he's having a lovely time. And every Friday it pops up. He's like, "Oh, he's at Sunningdale today, or Burnham and Barrow," and it's like, "Oh, you absolute." But he's doing this, and it's really interesting because that's giving him something to sort of work on his golf for and whatever.
Yeah.
And maybe
It's exactly what I mean. Yeah.
I can't put anything in your brain, Tom, as to why you should do it. But like, I feel, for me anyway, like, there's a few courses I really want to tick off at the moment. I want to tick them off now while I'm playing well.
Yes, that's what I mean. Yes. And also now as we're about to head into this gorgeous time of year. And I would say as well, look at running, which I know is something you used to do.
Yes.
They have this brilliant thing in running. My niece, I went to watch her doing a triathlon the other day, and she said the thing she loved about it was the focus it gives your training. And golf does, and I know there are tournament events, and I know we'll get loads of messages now saying we do this event and that event, but it feels to me like they're a bit niche. They're not as mainstream as for runners those events are. For runners, going and doing a big event is a really normal thing. For golfers like you and a lot of us, doing a non-my club event is vanishingly rare. It doesn't happen. And I think there should be more events where we all go, yeah, you playing that Open? Yeah, we're all going to go and do that Open up in St Albans. Like, I think a lot of people, certainly in our world, Tom, because, you know, let's be honest, I'm 6-ish handicap, you're like 9-ish now, and we've got listeners right up to 36, 40 handicaps. In that huge bracket, very few of us feel confident enough to go and do an Open because they look at it and go, well, that's for +2. And it's not the case. There's loads of events with your friend of mine, Stableford, where you're encouraged to go and do these events. And we need some more of those, I think.
Yeah, because Rob, my coach, does all these, because obviously he's an amazing golfer.
Yeah.
They have all these like PGA competitions, right? And you have like local
PGA
of course. competitions.
Yeah.
Right? But what I'm saying is that theory, that sort of idea, and I know Peter Finch plays in all these sort of things as well. Why isn't there a version of that? But for us goobers.
For rubbish golfers.
Yeah, for goobers. Stick up the boards.
Goobers.
Stick up the goober boards, because that's what I want. I want to tee off with the boards round and get all these goobers.
Totally.
Get all these goobers down and play. But I understand what you're saying. That's not my motivation right now. All I'm trying to do, for me, is it feels like I'm in this rich vein of form. So I'm trying to get all these scores in to try and see how low I can go. Don't you have like a self-motivation in you to be like, okay, I want to shoot my 72 again. I want to do...
No.
What's going on?
I don't, weirdly. Because I don't... because I know to do that, I would have to play a lot more than I can. I don't want to inflict the diary carnage. I think it's different for me because the show, my radio show's on in the afternoons, so I've got to squiz out in the morning and get around in. The kids are very much here and present because we're in the middle of summer holidays, so I'm sort of they're a kind of diary glue, and I'm very, very grateful and lucky that I have bullied them into golf.
Yeah,
and we do play together quite a lot, but it's hard to put a round together when you're playing with 2 imbeciles. Yes. And so I don't have that freedom where I can go and look at this beautiful, maybe in September when it clears out and they go back to school and things calm down, but they don't. September's when our work, Tom, goes insane. Yeah. So it's just a case of seeing, like for me, Trevose, leading up to playing Trevose, playing Royal North Devon, playing Bowood Park, which is a gorgeous course. Those were significant diary events, and I think I've got a golf version of the post-holiday blues. Okay. And I just can't be bothered to start going up to my course again and gearing up to try and do the medal. It just makes me feel a bit, no, I want more than that. Maybe my expectations, my standards have been raised by playing these courses.
Playing really nice golf courses. Yeah. No. I can see how you do that. I did say something mad on the course the other day, and it is insane that my take, but I do sort of stand by it a little bit because I keep thinking that I'm going to be found out. I'm a fraud. What am I doing? I don't play off 9. I don't shoot in the 70s. Yeah. But it sort of seems like I do. And I was playing with my mate the other day and I said, the key is to this, right? Basically, for the last 6 weeks, I've played 5 times a week. And that's how you do it. That's how you do it. And he was like, you can't say that. And I was like, no, that's it, mate. You just got to play minimum 4 times a week and you'll get good at golf. And he's like, that's insane. I was like, yeah, no, I know.
I cannot wait for you and Em to have kids. It's just going to be the hit that your handicap is going to take.
I know. No, I know. This is
brutal.
sort of part of why I'm on it so much at the moment, because I'm like, how long can this last? I've got to get really good now while I've got the opportunity to do it and play five times a week.
I've got to say as well, which I feel because I've mentioned it there, and I feel like I haven't really talked about it on the show, and I should. I was lucky to play Royal North Devon. My mate George is a member there.
Yeah.
And it's near Westwood Ho, which is the best named place in the UK. And it was really special. It was really, really special. It's a beautiful old course. I think it's the oldest course in England, which they're very proud of. It's one of those courses, Tom, and this is always a sign of an old course. You have to cross a cattle grid to get onto the first fairway.
Huge. Not
because it's
not
that
great
old
for the trolleys.
Land. Not ideal. It's that old sort of communal links land. It's still got that feeling, which a lot of courses in Scotland, of course, have got. I remember playing Golspie, I think it was, where you're playing in between sheep, and it's that story when you're at Royal North Devon. But I played with my mate George, his little boy, and my little boy. So there's two of us dads and two of our kids who are the same, both 13. And it's the magic of golf. And it's just unbelievable that I got to spend all that time with my kid on this beautiful, perfect evening as the sun began to go down. We won. We played a straight-up competition. The boys were about the same. Me and George were the same, so there was no handicaps. We won on the last. And I'd love to tell you it was the most idyllic thing, but 20 minutes in to what was a 4.5-hour round. It's a long course, and we did not have anyone in front of us. 4.5 hours playing at a normal lick. Yeah.
How's that happening?
The kids probably slowed us down a bit. It's a long slog. It's just a long slog. Right. But it's a gorgeous
I'm a bit obsessed with yardage at the moment. Do you know what it was off the what team?
No, but I'll find out. But I love that you're obsessed with that.
I'm obsessed with yardage. Yeah.
But we were literally on the second hole, and my son went, "Daddy, I'm really hungry."
Oh dear.
And I didn't have anything.
Mate, you've got the big ping cart bag.
Yeah.
You should have snacks.
No, I was on the hoofer, but I was carrying. But mate. I mean, that's still my bad. And guess, do you know what we did afterwards, actually?
Go on.
This speaks to something we were talking about. Went for McDonald's. And I had
a
big Archburger. There you go.
They're not sponsoring the podcast forever. It was a one-episode deal. Let's
sure,
relax.
No, fair enough.
Stop banging on about the big Arch.
But it was magical. The point is, it was absolutely magical. And that is what, I'm complaining about the kids being around because of some holidays. But when
what a moment, right?
Really,
memories.
What a moment, man. What a moment.
I was slightly distracted during that whole story because, as I mentioned on the show last time when we launched the Discord, I do very much still have Discord notifications on. That have popped up, another one just there in my ear. They're popping up constantly throughout this podcast record. Someone's just...
Are you getting dings?
Yeah, constantly. Probably every 2 seconds. Someone's just joined the Discord called The Ghost of John Smedley. And that's hilarious. So, that's hilarious. Well done. That's hilarious. As soon as
he's haunting us.
The ghost of John Smedley joined. As soon as you started talking about this beautiful moment with you and your son, I got the ghost of John Smedley and was just having a very nice time in my head while you told the whole story.
One of my greatest joys about this podcast is that we brought the legacy of John Smedley back to life. He should have drifted into the obscurity of the mid-90s golf scene in South Wales. Can we do a thing on Discord? We need to speak to Jack about this. Can we do a thing on Discord where we set up swing like a Smedley group?
Oh yes,
where people just video their swings.
Yeah.
And we analyse what their handicap is based on. If you've never listened before, John Smedley, just to give the quick backstory, John Smedley was a junior guy, looked after juniors at my club when I was growing up. He used to, whilst toking on a cigarette, he would give you your handicap. So he'd watch you do one swing and go 36 next, and that was it, which we loved.
We will get Jack to create a burner account on there which is called John Smedley, because now annoyingly Discord at Ghost of John Smedley's been taken by some other goober. We'll now have to create John Smedley and it'll be a burner account. You never know whether it's Price or me or maybe Kate and Jack who work on the team who know nothing about golf, who will give you a handicap. That's absolutely hilarious. Very quickly, Tom, because I know we're coming to the end of the podcast.
Yes, we are.
I watched an amazing video yesterday, and you know what I'm like. I get obsessed by things. I have a very addictive personality. I get obsessed. And
yes, you do.
Recently, I have become obsessed with Sunningdale.
Dude, it's one of the it's in my top 3. Yeah. Dornoch, Sunningdale, Trevose.
Yeah, I've become obsessed, right? Which I'm also now going to very much abuse my platform. Guys, any members in here? Because Christ, I really want to play it. Not played it. Anyway, become obsessed with...
Tom, I know a member.
Okay, Tom, so...
My mate Rob, who I went to school with, is a member.
Okay, so I'll probably be messaging you as soon as this podcast finishes, and then you give me Rob's number, and we'll do it. It's fine. Anyway, I become obsessed with Sunningdale because everyone says it's like a proper, amazing, another ping, championship course, but it's very playable. And I watched an amazing video by lovely Iona Stephen, who did a tour of Sunningdale and went over to their halfway hut, and it's just beautiful and it looks amazing. And I watched it yesterday while having my lunch, and I really want to recommend it to you. I don't know whether it's Golf Monthly or Golf Digest. It's one of those things, but if you just put Halfway House Sunningdale in on YouTube, it'll come right up. And Iona does such a good job, and she's such a great character.
She's brilliant.
I want to recommend it, and also use that as a segue to go, anyone want to get me into Sunningdale? Cheers.
Oh, mate, it's sort of the Augusta of the Southeast. I would say. I don't think it's hard to disagree with that. It is just the most ridiculous golf.
They have the ultimate posh thing there as well, and I don't know if you know about this posh thing. This is, guys, I'm going to call it. This is the low key posh thing. If your golf club does this, you're at a posh course.
Yeah.
So they have this whole fanfare about the fact that at the halfway house, you can get a sausage. And oh my God, they're obsessed with the sausage. Yeah. Just a sausage.
Yeah, St. George's. I've played St. George's a couple of times. They do that at St. George's. Yeah. There's no sausage roll. There's no sausage in a bap. It's just a sausage.
And then they go, one bit of bread or two. And it's not like a sandwich. They just give you a piece of bread and they fold it, and all these poshos love it. And this is no slight. I'd love to be one of them poshos. And I think this is a low key posh thing, because you know where else does that?
Go on.
Royal Wimbledon. They're always obsessed by the sausages there, and it's another one of these posho courses.
Yeah. And you can only enter the halfway hut if you've got a black lab at your side. And at least 3 divorces behind you. Yeah, it's incredible.
So if you've got one, if your golf club halfway house talks about sausage rolls, it has to be pure sausage.
You're basically on a municipal course if that's you. Look, we're done and dusted for another day. Thank you so much for watching and listening. The Toms at golfersruiningmylife.co.uk. We don't even put out specific things anymore. I mean, we did start the show by asking for a jingle. But just what's going on with your golf this season, just get in touch, drop us an email, let us know your stories. And our favourite one is going to win £50 to spend at Golf Bidder this Thursday.
Yeah, we might do a thing. This is just a bit of on-air chat. Tom, we should probably do this. We might do a thing in a few weeks' time where only entries on the Discord will go into Golf's email corner. So a little, not this time, but maybe next time. So go and get in the Discord, link in the description, and we'll see you in a few days' time for more of, I don't know what this was.
Whatever, fine. This has been have we got a Discord?
Yeah, Discord. Yeah. It's Golf is Ruining My Life. I don't know how you get on it. There's a link in the description.
No, good luck.